Hi, it's your Auntie Sam with Starcatcher Paranormal, and today I thought I would read you the one single journal entry that I have documenting any sort of haunting. And here's a fun fact, it wasn't even at my house. I've lived in at least 8 and have documented exactly 0. But I do have written down a night that I stayed at a hotel with my mom. She worked at the hotel, she worked the night audit, and she would come home saying she had spooky experiences all the time, and being 13 and fairly new to everything, I do have written down that instance. I will tell a little bit from memory because I wind up devolving a little bit here into middle school girl mind. Let's see. Thank you, Emma. This is dated July 2nd, 2009. Here I am at the hotel. Supposedly it's creepy here. This is as creepy as a cookie. Not that I'm eating it or anything. It's pretty boring. I almost regret coming. Let me see, it was also... I believe the shift was 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. I'm being held in a room twice as small as my bedroom. There are 2 computers, a desk, a large piece of machinery, and a couple of file holders. One says Barbara, Marie, Gabriella, and Jeanette. The other is by the door, and it says Robert, Patrick, Sabrina, matinee, manager, housekeeping manager, my mom, and front desk supervisor. LOL, one light is being weird. I'll keep you up to date, but nothing is happening as of now. Sam at 11:07 p.m. Mom got thirsty, I was okay. And then we went to the kitchen, and OM frickin' J. I never want to go there again. May God be with me. Praise. Nothing new, same room, nothing to write now, I know. It sucks rocks. So the kitchen area was sort of connected to this like small little sort of restaurant area. I don't know if it was its own, I don't remember if it was its own restaurant or anything anymore. Allegedly, someone had passed away in there and they had this like tape outline that they wound up leaving on the floor there, which already set the mood, especially for someone who was very new to ghosts. I was so scared. I was scared out of my mind. And that was more sort of just the dining area, and then you go back into the kitchen. And if you've ever worked at a restaurant, standard kitchen, there's like pots and pans that are everywhere. There's big fridges, and then at the very like front, there was like a little soda machine, and there was a little coffee maker there too. And however the soda machine was set up, it like ran up the wall and back towards the back of the kitchen, and it made this like sound, and it scared the pee out of me the first time I heard it. I was so scared. I didn't like it in there. It just felt very heavy, from what I remember. And like, again, maybe it was me being a little bit scared because there was a little tape outline of a person in the dining area. But anyway, it's still freaking scary even with the lights on. I feel like I'm being watched, and the feeling you get just before you're attacked. It got super duper heavy, and I think, like, I know my mom said that she experienced things. I don't know that she ever really got specific before I wound up going to the hotel with her, so I feel like I did sort of go in blind and didn't know what was going on there. But I do just remember that it was super heavy, and we were, like, in a room behind the front desk, so if somebody came in, you would hear the bells chime on the door, and they would come up to the desk, and there was a little entrance from the room to the front desk that my mom would check people in or out or whatever. I went to the bathroom. I'm shaking all over. I felt like something was there, but God was with me, and I'm okay. I have faith in him. 7 minutes before the witching hour. A quick side note. So I am making a video game kind of based off all this. If you want more, that I'll tag my TikTok down in the description. But as I was rereading my journal entries, to see if I had any experiences written down besides this one, I was under the impression that I didn't know what the witching hour was because I was terrified of midnight for a very long time, and I discovered 3 a.m. and then I was terrified of 3 a.m. bathroom. So someone did in fact actually pass away in the bathroom. Like, it was a whole stressful night for my mom. I did not know that again until years after the fact. But there were two stalls in the bathroom. I was already terrified because she made me go to the bathroom by myself because but she had to stay up there and man the desk. So I just went into the first stall, felt horrible because as I was going to the bathroom, it just felt like someone was glaring daggers into my head the whole entire time. I was terrified, out of my mind, tried to get out of there as fast as possible, washed my hands, ran out. So I was telling my mom, and like I was really scared. I was like, I don't like it felt like someone was glaring daggers into my head. I was so scared in there, and she was like, "Which one did you use?" And I was like, "The first one." She was like, "That's her stall. You shouldn't have gotten that one." And I was like, "Well, thanks for warning me." Just heard a baby cry in the restroom. Push his drink away. That would be wise. 3 minutes till the witching hour. I heard 2 girls talking, but they were real. Soon, Mom and I are going to make coffee. Oh, do I need some? Actually, the girls weren't, well, real, but they weren't living people, because if there's any sound out there, Mom has to go and man the front desk for a little bit. And she didn't, so I heard these 2 girls talking. They were literally just having a conversation. And I was like, listening to them. There was the door to get into the room that we were in. Across from that was one where like all the accounting stuff was kept, and then straight down the hall was a bathroom. There are no other doors, no other turns, anything like that. It is just straight shot to the bathroom, dead end. I heard them go past the room that we were in, walk down the hall, and make a turn to the left. Their voices eventually disappeared. I couldn't remember quite the layout. I thought maybe they were in the kitchen or in the dining area. I wasn't sure. But Mom did not respond when their voices walked past the desk, so I kind of looked at her and she was like, "What?" And I was like, "You didn't hear them just now? You're not going to help them?" She's like, "I didn't hear anything. It's hot. Ow. Lol. Methinks this coffee is too bitter. I forgot to put the time. It's really hot in here. We have 3 hours left. I think the coffee is working." And at that point, I remembered nearly falling asleep. It was boring for the rest of the time. It was just scary for a little bit. But I might see if my mom actually will come on here and talk about stuff that she experienced at the hotel. She experienced more things, and again, they were kind of like little incidents, like she saw this or she heard that, or there's a very funny rumor that went around hotel one night when she was staying there. I might see if she'll come on here and talk about it, because yeah, again, she had more experiences there than I did, because I stayed there twice and I didn't have any kind of experience happen the second time. It was just the first time. But yeah, that was the one singular story that I actually have documented. I think I might have just like one more quick mention of like hearing something in one of the other houses and my cat also reacting to it, but I have a ton more that I will be sharing with you guys. So that was my time that I spent with the haunted hotel that my mother worked at. She also worked at another hotel that was right across from a haunted hotel, and people would flood into her hotel thinking it would be better. It wasn't. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your scary stories are down in the comments. Have you ever stayed in a haunted hotel? Have you ever worked in a haunted hotel? Let us know.